So what happened at the Strongest Man on Earth with Tom Stoltman? So I'm sure you already know what's happened because I'm currently apparently Reddit and YouTube comments most hated man, but I'm going to go through kind of the build up and go over some things that I've since said and just basically go over the whole show as to what happened with Tom. So first off, we'll start with the build up. Prep for Strongest Man on Earth was going like too perfect. It was going amazing. He was in such amazing shape. And there was one decision that I'm not happy with that I made myself. Well, one outside of comp, one actually in the comp. But the decision that I made was basically throughout prep, Tom's stones were feeling incredible. And on stones for me, if they're feeling good, I like to not really train them and just do it on the comp day. But Tom hadn't loaded his 265 stone for years, and he said he really wanted to load it, and he mentioned it to me so many times. And I thought, right, we've got one last stone session. It was about 2 weeks out. It was 2 weeks, 2 days out. I thought we could do one last stone session. And I'm like, I'll let him load a 265. I should have stuck to my gut and not done it, to be honest, but it is what it is. It's one of them decisions where if he'd have just lapped it and loaded it, we wouldn't be having this conversation. But what happened was Tom had a venesection done, which is where you withdraw blood. It's like for health purposes, basically. But you can look into that if you don't know what it is. But he had that done. You're not meant to train after it, but he was supposed to train on Saturday, but he was doing some of that weekend. So he crammed his training together and he went in to do the stone on the Friday. He said he was feeling really good and everything was fine, so he just went to do it. And he went to pull the stone and he felt something in his bicep where they took the blood. Obviously, we thought the worst and we thought, might have torn his bicep here. So he got an ultrasound and the person he went to scanned it and said, I can see no signs of a muscle belly tear, no signs of a tendon tear, but there is blood pooling in the area. Obviously, we thought that's strange, but you know, maybe when he's pulled it, because he has had this venesection, maybe it's done something to the vein, like the vein burst, or I don't know, something has happened to cause bleeding there with the increase in blood pressure. And pain-wise, it was hurting him a bit, but he did a 190 log for his last log session a couple of days after it. And he was able to do some bicep curls and stuff. Not too heavy because he could feel a little bit of pain, but it wasn't anything like crazy concerning, if that makes sense. He did have some bruising, and then after about 3-4 days, it had just gone down to a little bit of kind of green outline, and then it had gone. He then goes out to Strongest Man on Earth early, and he got some cupping treatment done. When he got the cupping done on his arm, it went black. It went so bruised everywhere. And he messaged me about it, and I was like, well, you know, we've had the scan and we know it's not torn and there was blood pooled there, so it's probably just brought all the blood to the surface. Now, when I got there, I was doing isometric tests on him and I was testing the bicep and it seemed fine. Like he was doing a hammer curl iso on me and like lifting me off the ground and was like, yeah, I can feel it a bit, but it's like a 1 out of 10. So I was like, I thought this is really weird because there's bruise in there, so something's happened. It seems fine and the ultrasound said it's fine. So I was like, I don't know what's going on. It's a bit confusing. We'll also address some things where people said on Reddit that Tom has not progressed since coming to me. 180 log at Strongest Man on Earth last year, I believe Tom missed it or he made very hard work of it, one of the two. 195 log at Arnold, I think he got it just about, but it was really difficult. This year, Strongest Man on Earth opens with 188 kilos. Absolute smoke show. Look at the leg drive, look at the positions, look at the timing. 200 log, smokes it. 207 log, a little bit off balance on the first one, came straight back and hit it 30 seconds later. Came backstage, told me it was best his log's ever felt, and he thinks he's got if it was perfect and it was a good log, because he didn't really like that log, he thinks he's got 215 there. Frame into arm over arm. On that side, people were struggling with a bit, so I made Tom make sure he got it wire brushed before he went out because I feel like somebody put extra chalk on it. Tom carried the frame the full distance and he dropped it about this far from the line. He jumped over and went onto the arm over arm, got told to come back, pulled it back, went back to the arm, smoked it. If he hadn't made that mistake of dropping it a little early, I think he would have won that event, to be honest with you. So a little bit of a mistake there. Look at the progress on the Arnolds, though. He couldn't even budge a frame at the Arnolds. Lucas Hatton smoked that frame at the Arnolds. This frame at Strongest Man on Earth, Lucas Hatton got it about 5-6 metres, I think it was. Maybe a bit further, at 7.5, 9 metres, whatever he got it. A lot of good guys with good grip were failing that frame. And Tom finished the frame. Again, little mistake with the drop, but I consider that really good. In 4 and a bit months, that's really good progress on his grip, especially with the arm injury as well, because that's going to affect your squeeze strength. Next event, the keg throw. His arm was getting worse at this point. He was feeling it after the frame and arm a lot, and he was starting to feel it. And the keg throw, it's quite bicepy, and you kind of snap at it. In a perfect world, he should win that event 9 out of 10 times, so it is what it is. If you want to blame me for that, then fucking you can blame me for it. The next event was the stones. This is where I feel like I made a bad call as well, because feeling that 250 stone, and I'm like, I don't like this 250 stone. It felt oily. The only way to describe it was the 200 and the 250 felt like they had baby oil on them. I don't know what it was, but they were not right. I'm telling you now. I've seen hundreds of different sets of Atlas stones. I've never felt anything like that in my life. I don't know what was on them stones, but they were minging. The 227 was good. 5-second opportunity to say something to Tom while I was out there before I was getting kicked off. And I should have said, and I wished I said, just rep the 227, Tom, because that 250's fucked. That's what I should have said. But I was touching it, and Tom had touched it as well, and he was like, oh, I'll be all right. And I thought for myself for a second, I'm calculating everything, and I'm like, maybe he'll be all right. He's Tom Stoltman. He's the best stone lifter in the world. You know, Bryce Johnson had already loaded that stone earlier in the field. So I thought maybe you can do it. So I said, load the 227 for 1. Only if it feels amazing, you can go to this 250. And you only get 1 try at it, and then you're straight back to 227 if you don't get it. He was like, yep, fine. He loads the 227, straight to 250, can't budge it. He then gets this oily shit all over his tacky, goes back to the 227 and can't budge it. Better than last time, because he didn't load a stone last time. Could have been better if I'd have made a better call. Did speak to Tom after that, though, and he said, Shane, even if you told me to do that, I'd have done the 227 and I'd have gone to the 250, because the 227 felt so easy that he wanted to do the 250. But from a coaching standpoint, I should have told him to rep 227 for sure. End of day 1, his arm's feeling a bit bad, but he was like, it'll be all right, it's not too bad. And then obviously goes home, goes to the hotel, goes to sleep, wakes up, and he woke up and his arms 3 times the size and bruised to hell. But I was going off data as well. He's bruised previously when he first did it, and there was no tear apparently on the ultrasound. He's bruised after cupping, and then it's gone away. He's bruised again now, but it's swollen now. I'm pretty certain he's hurt his bicep here. He must have hurt his bicep. All I thought for day 2 was, I need to make sure now, is he safe to do the next event? Will it make it worse? Is it going to make it, fully tear or whatever is going on? Ends up pulling 422 kilos raw, which Tom is weak at side handle dead. It's one of his weakest deadlifts. That's a 22 kilo PB. So again, to the people saying he hasn't progressed, when Tom first came to me 4 months ago, he was hardly able to deadlift anything because his back's fucked. His back is like iron now. His arm's getting a bit worse off the trap bar now, but I'm thinking he should be fine on yoke. Tom's really mobile through shoulder extension, so I knew he was going to get under the yoke and he wasn't going to be tight and compact in for his bicep. He was going to be able to get the range for his chest and shoulders. So we went out, we did yoke, 550 yoke, no drops in a pretty decent time. That's a PB for Tom as well. Look at how 550 yoke moved versus World's Strongest Man 2024 when he had a 450 yoke. Look at how it moved from Vegas when he did the car yoke at 450. Look at the progress that he's made in such a short period of time. You know what I mean? I'm a strength coach, not a fucking miracle worker. And the 650 yoke, it was just fucked. It was just heavy. It was just really heavy. By this point, his arm was really starting to bother him and he was in quite a bit of pain. And it was coming up to the chest press event. Because at this stage I was thinking it was a bicep, I thought he's going to be all right on chest press. Obviously it's tricepy. When your tricep's contracting, your bicep is relaxed until the lockout, and the bicep does do deceleration of lockout. But because of the nature of the chest press machine, it was really heavy down here, and then it got lighter at lockout. So I thought, he's not going to need to decelerate too crazy. He's probably going to be safe. Goes out on the chest press machine and he hit 6 reps, which is 1 rep over what he hit last time. Again, to the people saying he's not progressed, he got 5 reps last time, and I think he took 4th place overall in the chest press. He got 6 reps this time on the same setup, but came like 8th. So although it looks like placings-wise, he didn't get better, he did an extra rep. So what do you want me to do, you know what I mean? He said he could have done another one as well, but his tricep was hurting. The cross carry into power stairs is next. I'll be honest with you, I didn't really want him to do this event because I was thinking he's definitely torn his bicep here. I thought about it for a while, and cameraman Tom, the guy who films Tom Stolt's YouTube, so videographer, he works for him, but obviously he cares for him a lot and he knows him real well as well. And he actually said to me, I remember him saying to me, does Tom want you to tell him to pull out so that he can, get an out? And I took that question quite seriously and I really thought about it. And I was like, no, he doesn't. I've only coached Tom for 2 shows now. I've heard people say before that his mindset he needs to work on and blah, blah, blah. Since I've worked with him, I haven't seen any weakness in his mindset. I don't know whether it's me, whether it's the way I am, whether I help him get a bit of confidence, or I don't know what it is. But to me, he never once wasn't finishing that show. Like, he was like, no, I'm finishing the show. I asked him about the cross carry. I'm like, are you going to be okay? He said, I'll pick it up. He said, I'll be fine. I'll do it. I'm finishing the show. And I respected his grit, his grind and his heart. You can say that it's the wrong decision. And as a coach, I should have pulled him out. And maybe you're right, but that decision there is an opinion. And dependent on the person you are and the way in which you look at things is going to depend on the decision you make. The way I look at something is, if I am the athlete and I am willing to die to finish this show, I want someone who's going to fucking run in with me. And that's the way I coach. And Tom wanted to finish the show. So I said, right, I said to him, you've got 2 options, Tom. You go out there and you rip it off the floor and you run with it, or you don't do it. There is no middle ground. There is no, I'm going to try and get it. It's either you're doing it or you're not doing it. But he smashed the last event. He finished the whole comp. Performance-wise, if we round up, near enough all-time PB log, feeling like he could do all-time PB. He got a PB on the yoke, he got a 22 kilo PB on the deadlift, he got an extra rep on the chest press, grip improved massively and he was able to finish the frame. And remember as well, he's come to me in not so great shape and then give me 8 and 10 weeks, whatever it was, to get ready for World's Strongest Man, and then boom, got to get ready for Strongest Man on Earth. I've been trying to fix stuff and do stuff in the background, but you got to remember there's an overarching aim of go to this comp, and fixing all these issues. When people are saying online as well about, niggles, issues and injuries, like, if you think Tom Stoltman came to me as a completely fresh, brand new human, and I have done these things to him over 2 or 3 months, you're mad. When he first came to me, he had a lot of problems. He had pain in his bicep. Because I remember I gave him hangs and he's like, I can't do hangs. It feels like my bicep's going to rip off. And I'm like, all right, there's a problem there. And when we did our first stone session, the first stone session we did, he was like, oh, I think my bicep's killing on them stones. And he'd had this problem, for a while, like lingering issues, so to speak. Yeah, to think that he's like a fresh human that's got 0 problems when he starts. Unfortunately, when you get a new coach, you don't get to hit the reset button on your fucking 12-year strongman history. So I've got to pick up, from where I was left off. And I think personally that I've done a good job in 4 and a bit months. I can tell by Tom's mindset how strong his back is, how confident he is on stuff. I can tell by the pressing how that's come back, and I can tell by the way he's able to perform throughout the whole competitions. So I'm pretty happy with the progress. And placing in competitions when you're against different athletes doesn't often reflect strength and performance, and you've got to kind of look at things through data, as in the things that he's able to lift, the log, the deadlift, the chest press, the yokes, the frames. If Tom came in all-time best and performed perfectly and came 6th, what is there? What can you do? That's just the nature of competition. Certain competitions and events favour different people, and in this show, you know, there was a couple of events that were going to be always a struggle for Tom, like the trap bar dead, 22 kilo PB, but he was never going to place top 3 in that event unless I give him like a 70 kilo PB, which is unrealistic to do in a couple of months of training. So I hope that explains what happened with Tom at Strongest Man on Earth. And if you want to find out what happened to Andre and Shane, just click here to watch another video.